So, why do you think, or why is it so important to introduce social justice concepts to children at the elementary school level?
Great question. I think there's a few reasons, but we'll start with the most practical. Whether we like it or not, kids are being introduced to these topics, right? With the media, the internet, social media, even if you're keeping your kids off of, technology, if they're going to school, if they're spending time with other kids, they're hearing about what's going on in the news much more than kids ever have in the past. And at the same time, we're often afraid to talk about it. And so it creates this taboo around anything related to justice. So I think that's point number one, right? We can't avoid it, even if we wanted to. What we can do is shape the narrative, because if we don't, what then folks online, kids at school, older kids in the neighborhood, those are the folks who will be shaping the narrative. So, and that's, probably not what we want for our kids or for our students. And so I think that's kind of like the most practical of like, even if you're resistant to this idea, that's the reality of the world we're living in. And I think the second point is really we want to raise kids who are kind, right? Most parents, most educators have a passion for raising and educating young people who are going to be good humans, right? That's part of our goal as educators. And I think when we talk to them about social justice issues, what we're doing in age appropriate ways, of course, we're giving them the tools to make sense of the world around them such that they won't have to, when they're in high school or when they're in college or even later, unlearn all of the stereotypes, biases, prejudices that they have internalized from the world around them. So we're saving them a ton of work in the future, also a ton of potential harm that they, could have caused, and more importantly, so much good that they can bring to the world, right? So we're not trying to raise necessarily, every child to be an activist. That's not even the intention, but rather every child will go on and whether they become an artist or an educator, a scientist, or a law enforcement professional, they will bring the lens of justice to that work.